And the first one between Canada and Japan. Thereafter, it'll be the bowl semis, then France up against the United States, an impressive France in this tournament, and Portugal against Samoa, who seem to be gaining credibility. And then the plate semi-finals, a local one, Wales up against Scotland, and then Argentina against England, who've had some difficulty with injuries in this tournament. Well, the Cup semi-finals promise to be two cracking matches. Fiji up against Australia, and then South Africa against the old foe, New Zealand. There's a super crowd that's come in here, well, yesterday too, and of course there's plenty of activity outside of the stadium and the surrounding fields. We've got plenty of invitation teams that are playing, vets that are playing, some pot-bellied gentlemen, and a medical tent that's been pretty busy today, I must say. So Canada up against Japan. Both teams, unfortunately, haven't won a match in this tournament. 4 losses for both of them, and Canada lead Japan by 15-4 in the series. So it certainly is the Canadians who might start this match as the favourites, but they haven't really been able to crack on the pace. John Moonlight, their captain, perhaps has been their best player, and of course they've still got Sean Duke and Phil Mack, who's been able to make the dream team in the past, certainly, and that's quite something. The 7 best players from a tournament. For Japan, well, the young small pocket rocket, the Fost Saki, the captain today. Well, can he get a hold of the ball? Can he show what he's worth? And Kameli Soejima, who's making his debut here at the age of 31 years. So just waiting for them to come out as we move towards the final leg. And now in the knockout stages, it's an all-or-nothing scenario. And these two teams, well, Japan, they played pluckily, but they were in a very difficult pool. They had New Zealand and Samoa to contend with, and that took the wind out of their Japanese sails. For Canada, well, they just really haven't got rhythm in this game. They really rely so much on Phil Mack, and he's still recovering from injury. Doesn't seem to be the player that he used to be. So Japan, there you can see a very, very good effort by Scotland against them. It was one-way traffic. Well, it was pretty much in most of those matches outside of the final game against the US, where they lost by 2 points. They are desperate to get a victory, aren't they? Scott Hastings, former Scottish international, alongside me.
Yeah, just to give them a bit of confidence. They were 12-0 up against the United States. They could have closed out the game, but they went down to 2 converted tries. So that is why they've ended up in the Shield competition. And Canada, well, they've misfired. So can Japan get a win and the taste of a win in this fantastic arena?
One of South Africa's top up-and-coming referees, Ben Krause, in charge of this match, and Phil Mack, who's known for taking the ball very quickly from those restarts, and that's ideal. That's what you need from someone, but not quite getting it right that time. Lucas Hammond given the duty of setting the move, getting it moving. That was a forward pass on that occasion to Mike Fulifa, whose dad played at centre for Samoa. His dad, Joe, I'm sure he must be watching this game and hoping for the best for his son and the team.
Yeah, Connor Trainer there as well, who took the angle, wearing that number 5 jersey. A few changes in this Canadian team.
So Japan, Suzuki in his 9th event, and a little change of direction, and here they go. Japan, a good start for them. Now, is this a ball? This is brilliant running, but it is going to slow him down somewhat. Hano, he's made good meterage there for Japan, but Scott, they've found themselves in this position quite often and then lost possession.
They can't get the support runner to go with Kasushi. Lovely, lovely break. Individual skill there, off the left, off the right. But as you said, there are some players that when they make that step, their acceleration takes them away. But on that occasion, well, he just couldn't evade the Canadian defence.
Bind. Set.
So out to Connor Trainer, just looking to set up the next move. Hammond and down the line here, quickly out of full Mac's hands. That's Sean Duke, also one of the more experienced players in this Canadian side. He hasn't really been able to show his paces. Japan without a sweeper, but Canada happy to keep the ball in hand, carry it up. Sojanovic, and then just keeping the ball in hand. Here's Mac, very, in most occasions, very much the playmaker in the side. And then Duke running into a cul-de-sac on that occasion. Not from Moonlight. And this is good running. He has a real chance now. Mike Fulifau it is. And he's going to glide through for the first score for Canada.
Fulifau going in for the try. He just cut a good angle, didn't he? But once you cut against the grain, it's difficult to get back. And because Japan weren't employing a sweeper, that's a 6-line-up defence. You leave one player back to cover a break like that. So if your first line is broken, you've still got an extra defender. But because Japan played a front-line defence with 7 players, the minute that was broken, the try was on for Canada. Japan,
known as the Brave Blossoms. I think it's a lovely name for them because they've played this tournament with a lot of pluck. Came last at the Gold Coast, so it's been a baptism of fire in many ways for them. It's a super kick in. Absolutely perfect for Canada to launch something here. Phil Mack. Hammond waiting for it. And then out from Connor Trainer. Seen John Moonlight very often out on that left wing. And he's such a strong runner. And he's able to get away from play. He's got a strong handoff too. Japan will have to make their first time tackles against the Canadians if they want to have a say in this game. Here's Mac now, and out it comes to Sean Duke. No problem for Sean Duke. The flyer is in, and it's 2-0 in tries.
Yeah, Duke back on the scoreboard, but it was all the work was done on the wide outside channels, first of all by Moonlight on that far touchline. And that sucked in 2 defenders for Japan, and as a result on the recycling, the space was always out wide. Canada had to work the ball well through the hands. The Duke, once he got the ball in hands, there was always the overlap there, so it was just a simple sprint in.
Personifying his other career, a student of kinesiology, human movement science. So there we go. He's overtaken Dave Moonlight in terms of all-time tries for Canada. Remember, Dave Moonlight is not John Moonlight, who's playing the captain of Canada today. Up for it and down from Connor Trainer. But Japan, yes, sniffing an opportunity. Can they get into the attack zone? Can they be accurate? Well, they've won a penalty. Quick take from Soejima. So change of direction now. They've got an extra man, but it's the little inside pass there to Saki. That's the second penalty they've won, and they've taken it very quickly, but not from the right spot.
Beat them by the ruck.
So Soejima. They want to have a plan here, Japan. Their plan is, well, they're doing a lot of switching, but not really moving perhaps a little bit too laterally. Canada just making sure that they have a half-moon defense against them and closing them down very quickly. Well, that ball went backwards, says Ben Kraus, so no problem for Japan to continue their onslaught. From Sakai. Once again, it's lateral movement from the Japanese. They find a hole somewhere. Well, they've got an extra man here if they can make something of this. Oh, that's an awful pass. Gone forward.
Well, a man of that quality, of experience, to throw a pass like that. Yuzaku Kuwazuru. Sometimes when your opposite number has actually overrun you, but even so, the quality of this pass, I think this is actually the worst pass I've seen this weekend.
Well, Scott, it might have come about too with the prevalence of running across field by the Japanese.
Is it stuck? Is it replaced?
So some worry for Canada too. He's had so many injuries, Phil Mack, and he's being carried off the field at the moment. So it's a great pity. For so many years, he's been their playmaker. So Japan once again on the back foot. Can they find some runners that take route 1 instead of route 32, which is too wide? Canada aggressive at the breakdown point, and as a result they want it. Here comes Sean Duke again. He should get a brace of tries here, surely.
Well, Sean Duke, 109 tries. He was like an arrow through that, wasn't he? Absolutely hit the gap. Great press defence here from Canada. Forced the error. Tackle that came in from Lucas Hammond. Hammond then to Duke, and Duke just had the run in, but like an arrow, as I said, hitting the target. Spot on here for Duke.
And the siren in the background, so half-time it is here at the Seven Stadium in Dubai. Canada leading by that comfortable 17 points to 0, courtesy of the 3 tries, 2 by Sean Duke and 1 by Mike Fullyfowl. Certainly the crowd have been treated to some fantastic rugby over the 2 days as we now move into the last part of the 2-day event.
Open some space as we go. That's all it takes, doesn't it? That's simplicity. Defensively, our work rate is top class. That's what we ask for, right? Now, if they get in behind us, they've got enough pace to finish, so we run them down, rebuild. So again, keep moving forward. While our defensive move forward is great. Just on our breakdown, you're getting a jackal, okay? The ruck's forming, it's not enough to get the penalty. If you're in that position, yak. Okay, if we want another go at it, yak it. You can't get through, bob it out. You got it? I think we can test their breakdown. It's weaker. Okay, so if you don't get your jackal, go for your bob. Hey, just match what we did there. Okay? High pressure, high pressure. Same thing right from the start. 1, 2, 3, Canada.
Hey boys, Max.
It's been a real baptism of fire for Liam Middleton, the new coach for Canada, the Zimbabwean. You just heard the words from him there in terms of wanting to dominate those breakdown points. But I think Canada have done very well against Japan. Defensively, they've made them move very laterally, and they haven't really looked a threat. The biggest worry for Canada is the loss of Phil Mack, the leading point scorer in picture there, Katsuyuki Saki, the Japanese pocket rocket. It's just gone the required 10 meters. So, same now for Saki, looking for a way through. Can they test the Canadian defense? Well, they don't really have any real flyers, the Japanese, so it's got to be a team effort.
Yeah, Hano has the silky skills. He can step off both feet, but he just doesn't have that penetrative acceleration.
It's one of those things in Sevens rugby, there's no substitute for real pace. But if you can throw in a lot of good skill with that too, and there's plenty of those players at this tournament. So Japan now in an attacking situation. This is where their accuracy has often let them down in the red zone. They'll do something about it. Hano looking for the try, and they've got it.
Well, we identified him as a strike runner. Kazushi Hano, tremendous little run in there, and this time backs himself in a close quarter. Look at this, goes on the outside arc, the fend there on Mike Fullyfowl, and over he goes. Tremendous reach there, wasn't it?
Well, I'd like to have seen the look on Liam Middleton's face when that try was scored, because as coach, everything he was saying at half-time, not followed there by the Canadians, just going to sleep somewhat on the defence. But full marks to Japan for coming back, most importantly, as early in the second half.
And here's where you see Phil Mack. He's nursing that knee. He's just back from knee surgery, so I just wonder, is that a little tweak he's done? It's concern there for the great little playmaker for Canada.
He certainly is one of the all-time greats of HSBC Sevens Rugby. So Japan getting a little bit more ball now looking for the chip through, and there is no sweeper, so it was a clever move that. Can the bounce favour him? Yes, it can. Sakai gets the try.
Well, Sakai, the captain of Japan, backed himself there. A great little grubber kick, end on end. It popped up nicely for him. Look at this, end on end. That's a great little skill, just to get the boot onto that ball, to get it rolling forward like that. And sometimes in this world, the bounce of a rugby ball can be so cruel. But this time, up it comes. Here we go. Nice little early Christmas present for him. The Japanese captain will be pleased with that one.
And he didn't snatch at it. He waited for it till it was a favourable bounce. Didn't have to bend over. It didn't stop his momentum. And he's got plenty to say to his team. They sniffed the opportunity. Just 3 points off it right now. And his kicks have been pretty accurate too. Of course, there's the Canadians looking into the sun. Ben Kraus said advantage, but it's over right now. So Duke. Often find with a guy like Phil Mack, when he's off the field, they lose their way a little bit. But it's certainly Connor Trainer that's looking for a little hole somewhere along the line. He finds his captain Moonlight. Now Duke. You know he's got the pace if he can find the space. This time, no opportunity for that. So the Japanese are enjoying a little bit of summer here, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Just wonder if they should just slow this one down, kick for touch, walk up, set their platform again, and Sakai looks as though he might do that. Good play from Japan. Of course, they qualified out in Hong Kong, didn't they, when Kazuki Hashino spilt the ball in that winning performance in the final against, I think it was Italy, and he is now a tremendous, it's an internet YouTube sensation, all for the wrong reasons, I hasten to add, but it took a little bit of the gloss off the fact that they qualified as a core team.
Well, a lot of people that feel the Japanese are not big fellas, well, I can tell you what, they are some playing rugby, that's for certain. So they're comfortable with the line out. But that's a poor pass, and that's opened up all sorts of space here. So a real chance for replacement Jack Smith, who's opened it up here. Here comes the charge from Justin Douglas. He's the quickest in the Canadian squad.
Well, all from a Japanese error. Japan had a real opportunity on the wraparound move there. I think it was Hano who delivered the pass. In fact, it was Shuto. And if that pass had been delivered on the outside rather than the inside, then it might have been Japan that were leading this tie. But that's taken Canada away through this man, Justin Douglas. Powerful, powerful player on that wide outside channel. And that's the beauty about this Rugby Sevens. Defence that turns to attack. And that's what it makes such a compelling game.
And having people that got the pace of that man in picture there, Justin Douglas. Japanese also having to make a replacement. So a couple of injuries taking their toll on the second day. First day was a very cool, clean day. Just a single yellow card. And that's a pretty good kick, that, isn't it? So Canada immediately in attacking position, and this is where Japan very often let themselves down in the own 22.
Yeah, Mike Fulifao with an excellent kick. He's noticed that there was a big space on the back there, and he's put real pressure on this Japanese team. The thrower, Kashiro Shuto. And with Moonlight, you've got to get over the top of the big Canadian first of all.
Well, a little sniff of a first victory for Canada potentially at the expense of the Japanese, with just about a minute left now, and the points difference 8, meaning of course that Japan would have to score twice to win this game, and no time to use for it. But they won't give up. That's one thing about the Japanese, is they're always going full tilt. They simply have to score right now. It's going to take them at least a half a minute anyway to get up there, one would imagine. And without the real pace of someone like Justin Douglas, it needs to be a team effort.
Release.
Clever play there from Hiroki Yoshida. Out from Yuta Nakona. So a lot of the replacements have been brought on in the Japanese side by Tomohiro Sagawa. But again, as they were doing, Scott, in the first half, very much lateral movement from the Japanese. So can they find a little bit of space somewhere along the line? Connor Trainer, who's had an excellent game. Some good work from him and John Moonlight. In fact, it was John Moonlight, not Connor Trainer. The little pop pass there for the Japanese, but there's no support players that are close enough in. So lots of pressure at the breakdown point. Well, Canada, they'll fit it. Here comes Douglas. See you later is the words from Justin Douglas as he gets his second try and the Canadian fifth, which will seal their move to the Shield final.
And yet another error, but the pressure in the contact area. Phil spilt the ball, and Douglas, well, wasn't he quick? And he gets the brace in the second half. Great camera work here from our team. Great shots and some great rugby as well, especially in Canada. Well, they were made to work hard in this tie, but they'll take some confidence by getting a W.
They certainly will do. Justin Douglas is keeping his eye left and right if anyone was chasing him, but even if they were, they wouldn't have caught the flyer. So the final score here then in the Shield semi-final is Canada 27, Japan 14. The match stats pretty much tell the story then, with Canada having really the lion's share of possession. But it was Japan really with a couple of missed tackles that they had, but they were important ones, and all of them leading to tries. 5 visits to the opponents, 22. 5 tries they scored, Canada. Well, there was a fair bit of tackling, and Fulifar showing just what a good all-round player he is, with a leading tackler and Duke with those carries, and of course the pace. And Justin Douglas, 2 line breaks, 2 tries for the right winger.
So there's confirmation. Canada 29, Japan 14. They bow out, and next up it's Brazil against Kenya. Brazil still looking for their first win of the tournament. Looking ahead to the Cup semi-finals, of course, plenty of support for all those teams. Fiji, New Zealand, South Africa, Australia. Great teams here at the Sevens, the official home of the Dubai Sevens. The second Shield semi-final for the right to play Canada in the final. It's Brazil against Kenya. Teams have just met once before in the series when Brazil were the invited team to the Las Vegas tournament back in February of 2012 when Brazil lost by 38 points to 0. That possibly is the benchmark, but then again, Kenya have not been without their problems of late with player availability and political turmoil as well, so this could well be a chance for Brazil to turn the tables on the Kenyans. Fernando Portugal, the captain, sits this one out. Schaefer Albuquerque gets a chance up front with Daniel. Dukwe and Harvey will provide a bit of pace, as will Da Silva. Amonde leads Kenya. Andrew Amonde. Daniel Sikuta has 4 tries to his name, and Paul True has had to call back 1 or 2 players from the past. Tony Opondo and Dennis Mohanji amongst them. I'm joined by Willie Losey. And this could be quite an interesting confrontation between Brazil and Kenya, bearing in mind that Kenya in the past, they would have had the likes of Collins Injera, Humphrey Kayenge and others. No real strike runners at the moment in Paul True's squad.
Yeah, the biggest problem is confidence. As you know, in sport, that's where you get a lot of momentum, and sadly for these 2 teams, neither of them have registered a victory here in Dubai, and that starts to play on your mind after a while.
So Brazil, they've been in the game at half-time against Argentina, France, Fiji, and this morning Portugal, but they are down to 11 squad members following the red card to Giuliano Fiori, the big lock forward, dispatched to the sin bin, or dispatched to the sidelines rather, a red card following a tip tackle. So Brazil receive the kickoff. Kick way downfield. Back there though is Leonard Mugaisi. It's an ugly looking bounce for the Kenyan. He's retrieved the situation for the African nation. This is Oliver Mangeni. Made his debut on the Sevens circuit on the Gold Coast in October. Likes a little rough and tumble, does Oliver Mangeni from the Kenya Commercial Bank Club, a lock or open side flanker in 15s.
A net gain for Brazil, but you don't kick possession away regardless of where you are. They didn't do it yesterday against one of the real superpowers of Sevens Rugby, Fiji, and why you'd come out with that mindset today is beyond me.
Yeah, some teams use the kicking game to good effect. Kenya in the past kicked more than anyone else, and it did from time to time reap dividends. It's all about retaining possession, isn't it, in sevens? It's Andres Silva. I've liked the look of Andres Silva, I have to say. He's shown good vision at times, and is never very far away from the action wherever the ball is. Andrea Silva is not too far away. Fullback in 15s.
Let's not forget as well, Win, this is all about points to qualify as one of the top 4 teams and to stay as a core team. More importantly, if you're not going to be going to Rio de Janeiro in 2016, you want to make sure that you're on the circuit.
Brazil will be going to their home Olympics. They qualify as hosts. Kenya had high hopes of reaching the top 4, certainly at the end of last season, although it wasn't the best of seasons for them. But in the new season, Paul True said, well, you know, we're really going for Olympic qualification, but his plans have been thwarted by political turmoil and wrangling over financial issues, player availability. That's always been the case, of course, with players combining their studies and occupations as well with their rugby ambitions. Federico Anselmi penalising Brazilian number 11. It was Matius Daniel. The breakthrough here is from Tony Opondo, and Opondo will go in unopposed.
Second try in his career, first here in Dubai. Love the fend. That's the thing that impressed me the most here. Right on the head and the shoulder. Get out of my way, he says, and powers through. Lovely running style. We used to see that with Kenyans at the Olympics. And it would have been fantastic to see these men in the red shirts in Rio de Janeiro in 2 years' time. Still a possibility.
Yeah, Tony Opondo last featured on the Sevens circuit here in Dubai in 2011. So he's been absent for a period of 3 years. He's been in the extended squad, being recalled by Paul True, and repaying the coach the faith the coach has had in him. And just to recap then, Giuliano Fiori, I mentioned earlier, the Brazilian player, red carded for a tip tackle. He's received a 6-week suspension as a consequence of that tip tackle. Andrew Monde, the captain. Support comes from Leonard Mugaisi. Kenya making hard work of this. Brazil looking to crowd out the ball carrier in the tackle area as Oscar Ayodi looks their way through. Unconventional it may be in Kenya to track back and recover and regroup. This is the big man Dennis Muhanji, who last featured in London in 2009. Well, yeah, that's what Paul True has had to do in order to get a full squad here for Dubai. Will the ball stay infield? No, it won't.
2 awful kicks. They certainly won't get contracts with any of the English Premier League teams or the Brazilian Championship. The first one from Scofa was a shocker, and then that was just kicked out there by Amonde, kicking possession away. I can't understand it. I love that saying from Gordon Titchens. If you want to play sevens, use your skills. If you want to kick, do karate.
Yeah, I left that one for you, Willie. I see you've written it down very carefully. Karate spelled with the K, not with the C. So here come Brazil then, looking to get back on terms here before the break. 2 minutes to go. A chance here for Lucas Domingues. Good work by the Brazilian number 10. Excellent play there by Brazil.
David Harvey.
No mistake.
He's done magnificently. As Harvey running Fat Man's Lane, the greatest Sydney Rams. And so he made his debut in Wellington, as I say, but here, look at the transfer of the ball as well, so that he could defend, protecting the ball, protecting it, making sure that it's grounded. Great response.
Yeah, Domingues with the approach work, finished off by Domingues, but he may well have paid the price. Holding his ankle there, he'll need some attention. His weekend could well be over. Sad to see any injuries. A little scrum half from the Sao Jose Rugby Club in Sao Paulo. So the conversion is good, and 7-5. David Harvey, of course, is the injured player, the try scorer. That's a sad sight. We saw Phil Mack come off earlier on, and seen a few injuries this weekend. It's a poor kick at the restart. No sooner Brazil claimed the lead, they give the advantage back to Kenya on halfway. 2009 was the breakthrough year for Kenyan Sevens Rugby. They beat South Africa, Fiji, and then New Zealand for the very first time, and that was back in San Diego. And they reached the cup final for the very first time in Adelaide in 2009 that year also. Fortunes have changed, and they look to be changing here again. Away goes Oscar Ayodi. Wiley Ayodi is in at the corner and restores Kenya's lead.
Coach Paul True says that Ayodi is the key player for Kenya and a real attacking threat. Showed his prowess there. Great refereeing as well, because the ball had been lost forward by Brazil and he just played advantage. That's what you want in the game of sevens. That's where it got lost forward. You can see the arm come out from the official. He fought very, very well to Monde, the captain. And then Ayodi, a lovely piece of pace, power, and scores right on the hooter.
Yeah, yet another recalled player, last featured in London back in April, or was it May? So the conversion is wide off the mark, but Kenya gone back into the lead against Brazil, 10-7, and like in all their previous matches, Brazil are still in it at half-time.
Última jugada del partido. Ellos posesión de bola. No tenemos que darle respiro y le damos respiro. Hay que taclear. Que vayan al down, caras. ¿Está claro? Y cuando tenemos la bola hacemos cosas interesantes. Entonces, si la van a tener ellos, rápido el down. Y tratamos de recuperar. Nos tenemos que levantar más rápido para poder recuperar. Marchim, es un gran esfuerzo que tenemos que hacer ahora. Un gran esfuerzo. Entonces tenemos que seguir y hacer. ¿Está claro? Mantengamos la posición de la bola y hagamos todo un poquito más lento. ¿Está claro? No podemos nada rápido. Si es que vamos perdidos al final, ahí sí. Pero si no,
vamos a pasar. Working for the quality of where we're going to score. Tony, just a bit more urgency from you. Everyone, don't run across and then we do sloppy passes. Let's not get our focus,
One more south, only one more south. Okay, Suko, get Suko, 1, 2, one more.
I love the passion from the Brazilian coach, Ramanoli. He's saying that he wants greater force and rapido, he wants pace.
Strange to see Paul True so cool under pressure. That was David Harvey gingerly making his way back to the medical centre, where you'll get the best of attention. Brazil get to restart. They trail Kenya by 10-7 and by 2 tries to 1. Ball somehow is back on the Brazilian side. Lucas Duque on to Moises Duque. The two brothers in concert there. This is the diminutive Andres Silva. Caught the eye in the first day with some terrific defence, and that's where Brazil have been concentrating, particularly in recent weeks, is on their defensive frailties. And now Andres Romagnoli is looking to improve their tackling techniques and the team organisation, and they've also identified the need for a more offensive game if they are to become the complete outfit. Good pressure, and again expertly done by Brazil, but just spilt forward at the last minute.
I think it was Duquois who got across there, the older brother Lucas, to put pressure on, as another change is made with Alan Martins coming on. But the Kenyans are putting themselves under all sorts of pressure.
Yeah, reflecting the fact that this squad of Paul True have not had too much time together to prepare. Defensive scrimmage here then for Kenya. Out it comes from Oscar Ayodi into midfield. Again the Brazilian defence being tested here as Alex Olaba barrels his way downfield. Brazilians penalised for not releasing. Kenyans slowing down the game a little here. There's the breakaway. Good storming run here from Leonard Mugaisi, and the handoff of Luca Dominguez.
Mugaisi is brilliant. Hard to do that, his 5th try. I'll tell you what, he toyed with the old sweeper a little bit too, because as soon as he got into the open field and knew that it was just a one-on-one situation, he started pointing for the support to come, gives him the big facial, says get out of my way again, skips out of it. Lovely balance. Not easy to do when you've defended and you're not balanced properly, to just get back to be even and to sprint the way that he has. They scored just before the break and now they've scored just after.
So 2 telling scores from Kenya, and this to put further daylight between the teams. It's not the best of kicks from Junior Pondo, but Kenya now have a 2-score advantage, 15-7 midway through the second half of this second Shield semi-final. And the winners to play Canada. And we've seen some poor kicks at the restart, and there's another one. Didn't find contact at all. Can Brazil get back into this match for the second time? Duque to brother Moises. Daniel takes the ball into contact. The quick recycling. This is better. The Duque brothers again in concert. Swept out from Moises Duque. Both play for the Sao Jose Rugby Club in Sao Paulo, and that's the base for this Brazilian squad, coached by former Argentinian player Andres Romagnoli.
Concern that I have about the attack from the Brazil team is that they just pass it laterally. No one's squaring up the defence, so it's so easy to defend against. The Kenyans basically go up and then just push out because the ball is passed even before they've asked questions of them.
So a chance perhaps here, an ideal attacking position for Brazil. They make a substitution. They bring Fernando Portugal, the captain, on. And it's Matheus Daniel, who departs, the number 11. Climbing high there was Martin Schaefer. This time, surely, again, looking to overcomplicate things somewhat in midfield. But here's a chance. Ball spilt forward, was it? Yes, it was. That's a shame. Well, if they'd allowed the ball just to move along the back line there, I think they'd have fared far better.
Well, they're trying to do loops and they're trying to do cuts when they're going sideways, and it's just not effective. That's the whole problem.
But to do it effectively, you've got to do it at pace. That's the difference between the half-decent sides and the best sides. Under pressure here is Oscar Ayoji. With the best passes back, and Brazil have secured possession now. Then surely this time, no, spilt forward yet again from Brazil, and their number 6, Moises Duque. Things just not happening for Brazil at the moment.
Yeah, I hate to be negative because it's a positive game. That just needed to be transferred on. He tried to catch it in the process of getting tackled, lost it forward, but if he had just tapped it along the line, it was try time, and Brazil would have been back in the game. Have a look at this, snatching at it. No need to snatch at the ball there. You've got a player that's on the outside that's free.
Samson Onsomo, the replacement, is at scrum half. That's a better pass, a change of direction. One-on-one. Mugaisi, this time he's well collared, and Silva would appear to have his hands on the ball. Brazil, very strong physical players, as you'd expect from the South American nation. Kenya have retained possession, although it is a bit of an arm wrestle. Onsomo floats out the long pass to the replacement, Alex Olaba. Fresh legs, using his shoulder to good effect, and away he goes, chased down here by Alan Martins. Good defensive work by the number 7. Has to release the player though. Federico Ansalmi is there on the spot, the Argentinian referee, arm out, waiting for advantage to Kenya, and that is it surely for Brazil. A chance perhaps for one final score for Kenya. And here comes the captain, Andrew Amonde, back inside to Mangeni. Amonde once more in under the sticks. That seals it for Kenya. Not the best performance by any means, but you can only play what's in front of you.
That's a true captain's knock as well, because he was involved on a couple of occasions. Brilliant defensive work from Alan Martins, firstly, to get back and to stop the certain try. But from the penalty, have a look at this. Use the space is the key that you've been told when you're a young kid, and that's the last part of it. An Olympic sport in 2016, a little bit of the high jump and the hurdles, and then off the board to dive. Tongan judge gives him a 9.4.
So Federico Anselmi calls time, and Kenya march on to the Shield final, but this is not where they would want to be playing their rugby. They've defeated Brazil by 22 points to 7. Brazil bow out. They made a lot of friends here in Dubai. Let's hear now then from the Kenyan coach, Paul True, who's with Scott Hastings.
Paul, it's your first win of the weekend. A bit of a tough weekend for you.
Yeah, I think it was definitely the pool of death for us. I mean, Australia first, now pool, and then England, and obviously USA was never going to be easy. But, you know, I think for us what's important is that we needed, you know, something positive out of this tournament. And I think especially this win, you know, I think the guys needed that for the confidence. And hopefully, you know, we've got 8 players, you know, in the team that played less than 4 tournaments. And it's tough, you know, you're not, over 2 weeks, you're not going to make 1 or 2 tournaments and turn it into 50 tournaments. And unfortunately, we're in Olympic qualifying season. Every country in the up their game. And we just have to keep learning as a team, and hopefully, you know, take all the positives that we can into the next one next week in PE.
Learning curve is a term that's kind of overused at times, but it's so important in this stage, in this environment. You're playing against a misfiring Canadian team, so what are the positives you're going to take in to that next final?
Well, I think that's what we said to the guys, you know, even before we came into the tournament. You know, we can't compete against any other team out there. We have to, you know, compete against ourselves. And I think, you know, what's important is that we just have to keep growing, keep learning, and hopefully, you know, just get, you know, that experience behind them as quickly as possible.
Great, thanks very much. Good luck.
Thank you. You're tapping me there.
So we're through to the bowl semi-finals on day 2 at Dubai 2014. Coming up, we've got France up against the United States, and that's followed by Portugal and Samoa getting to the business end of the tournament. But right now it's the bowl semi between France and the United States. And the French team, the man that's been scoring plenty of tries is number 10, the veteran Julien Candelon, 34 years of age, 4 tries for the tournament. And also in good form is number 9, Tarimi Fakatawa, the Fijian-born Frenchman. The United States uses the captain. Carlin Isles gets a start ahead of Perry Baker. Isles and Baker, the 2 speedsters in the American team, coached by Mike Friday nowadays. They're doing a great job, the cheerleaders. Imagine doing that hour after hour in the Dubai sun. Very fit. I know our commentator Carl Donana has been very impressed with their fitness. They make good sevens players.
Oh, they would indeed, Greg, and just adds to the atmosphere that's here, isn't it? Building as the teams get pushed out. And well, really looking forward to this one, because in game 1 of today, these 2 teams were showing some great form.
Trying to make the most of their opportunities today after making a mess of things on day 1, really. That's why they're not in the top 8 or the cup competition. See the United States losing to England, quite competitive. And then they lost to Australia 26-10, and they beat Kenya 26-17 in their 3rd match on day 1. France, on the other hand, very inconsistent, losing to Fiji 54-7, lost to Argentina 26-21, and they beat Brazil 24-14. But then on day 2, France came out and really hit the ground running, beating Canada 42-19, first up in the bowl quarterfinal. The USA struggled, but eventually got there against Japan at 14-12 in the bowl quarterfinal. Our referee is Marius van der Westhausen from South Africa. And the bowl semi-final is underway. The Americans allowing it to bounce, and so it's early possession for France. Mazouai getting it out to Candelon. Gee, he's been slippery, and that is a high tackle. Not all that dangerous, but just reckless from Giratalo. And it is now the French inside. The American, 22, and they had a 3-on-1 there, Carltonana, and they coughed it up.
Oh, yes, indeed. It was a try for all money, but to United States' credit, they have defended quickly. Now they can maybe exploit an overlap.
So putting it through the hands, and it's out to Carlin Isles, but the French have done their homework. They know they cannot give him any space on the outside. So the United States getting it out of their own 22. A good run from Denny Barrett. And the penalty goes against the Americans. So again, good opportunity for France. Not taking the tap on the mark. Some of the players get a little bit frustrated with that, but laws are laws.
I think it was a bit rough there for the United States. Mark Anufa, I think, was the one singled out by Van der Westhuizen, not keeping his weight at that ruck. I thought he was okay, so that's a huge let-off for France.
Taken down by Candelon, out to Barawa. And running on to it is Mazouai, and he offloads to Barawa, and he has got too much pace. Gary Barawa, the 27-year-old, and his 24th event, gets his 2nd try for Dubai.
So many times he's the provider. Barawa, Candelon, the experience, gives it out to Barawa, the playmaker. It was an easy inside ball. He took 2 defenders. Did the big number 3, I think it was, Mazouai. Just an easy inside ball to this guy.
And the conversion is successful, so good start for France, leading by 7-0.
Comeback from that turnover from the United States, who had control of the ball just outside their 22, and the French made them pay fully.
So the United States again trying to get the ball out to Isles, but again he's been restricted with the area, the space. Now it's 2-on-1, and Barrett is up over halfway. Can he get the hands free? It's a good tackle by Candelon at the end to bring him to ground. No knock on there for Pat Blair. Flinging it out is the captain, Hughes. Naiua thought he spotted a gap, soon closed. Blair. Duratalo. Just need to be patient here. Keep the possession. Hughes. And Unafai through the hands. Naiua, here's Carlin Isles, and again Vakatawa controls him, and there's the turnover. And so France looking to break out from their own territory. Long ball, they need a good bounce. It sits up for Gundalan. Up over halfway he goes, turns it back now to Mazaway, and flying onto it is Terry Murahoa. They won't stop him. He gets his second try.
And it comes from a nice angled run. Again from the number 4, just hitting holes. It was a nice little inside pass again from the number 3, Mazaway. Burawa was coming from an outside in line. You can see there, he knows right there that it is a canter for him. And the French are making it look easy.
3 tries for the tournament now.
Game number 5, we're getting into Greg. After 2 hard days, and this American team, fitness-wise, are looking very, very sharp. A lot of hands on hips. No one chasing there.
So it's 14 points to 0. Things going to plan for France, but not the restart. Wow, there's a couple of rugby heavyweights. Nathan Sharp in the HSBC shirt. Nick Farr-Jones, the great Wallaby captain, on the left. We've got Barry Brown from Emirates on the right. Events sponsor, the Brains Trust. Gee, couldn't the Wallabies do with Nathan Sharp and Nick Farr-Jones nowadays?
I was going to say, they've got a few W's under their 2 belts, those 2 guys.
No. There. I'm not calling you back again.
Nick Farr-Jones nowadays is the
next time
chairman of the New South Wales Rugby Union.
Sort of rugby royalty, wouldn't it, Nick Farr-Jones?
Indeed. Recently spent time with his teammates in the 1984 Wallabies, the only Wallaby team to win the Grand Slam, and Vakatawa loses a ball in contact there, and so we are going to come back for the scrum after that knock on. So 14 points to 0.
The United States were effective yesterday. They put their speed men in the right end of the field. Oh, here we go, here's the man.
Oh, he's a wine connoisseur, Nick Farr-Jones.
Does that make you a beer connoisseur, Greg?
Well, he's an Aussie.
Isn't it great to have guys in that ilk here watching this game at the moment? I mean, it really does add to the mystique, and I suppose these guys playing, knowing those guys are watching, it's a good zap.
Well, a mistake there, and so the French, Jeannet offloading to the support, and the penalty goes to France. I saw that the England assistant coach, Andy Farrell, is in Dubai having a look as well.
There's a saying in New Zealand that you never know who's watching, so you always put your best foot forward, and with coaches like that, keeping an eye out, if you're able to perform on this international stage like that, who knows where you can go.
Talking to Mike Friday, the coach of the USA, former England coach and Kenya coach, he was just saying that these Americans just have to develop their rugby senses. They need a little bit of luck. They need the bounce of the ball to get some confidence, and they haven't had a lot of luck in the first half because the French team has been able to shut them down. So the halftime siren has sounded in the background, and we'll see if the Americans can go coast to coast. Naiua goes to ground. Hughes flings it out for Atalo, and on the far side, the big number 3, Danny Barrett. Good cover from France though, but it's still there for Hughes. Naiua And the support is still coming, and it's now Isles stepping and offloading. Good skills from Isles. Naiua, they've got an overlap, and charging onto it is Barrett. Barrett, good cover defence though from Delenya for France. Had a try written all over it, but somehow they couldn't come up with a 5. Now charging onto it is Unafe, and it's still there for the Americans. They have the penalty well after the half-time siren. They take it quickly through Naiua, and the small man, Rahoa, made a good tackle. Now 2 on 1, surely this time, and dotting it down will be Andrew Duratalo. So a very timely try for the US of A.
Well, they went the long way round, didn't they, USA? They made it a lot harder than it needed to be. They had the numbers finally. Someone straightens the ball up, draws in the last defender. Exactly what the United States needed, a bit of confidence going into the second half.
So Duratalo, his first try for Dubai 2014. Bit of concern shown there for the French players. Very hot indeed at the moment. Fitness is going to come into play. The conversion attempt is not good. And so it is half-time in this bowl semi-final, and it is France leading the USA by 14 points to 5. We'll head into the huddles to see what the coaches have to say. Since Dubai 2013, the French have won 4 games, the USA just 1. And the 1 win for the USA was on the Gold Coast a couple of months ago in October, the first of 9 stops on the HSBC Sevens World Series.
C'est bien, super, c'est bien les gars, Jeanne, c'est bien. Et l'engagement, c'est très bien.
Je suis d'accord, c'est très bien les gars, notamment défensivement. Ils sont obligés de se le peler à la fin. On prend cet essai, mais jusque-là, c'est très cohérent en défense. Les choix sont bons, les mains sont bonnes, le soutien au porteur est bon. C'est exactement la stratégie. Et ceux qu'ils sont comme sur le papier. Ça va faire les gars, ça va faire. C'est bien, continuez comme ça. On s'accroche.
On s'accroche, allez.
Space is out the back and wide. No need for it. Let's do it. Let's sort it out. Defensively, we know what they've got. If you don't execute your one-on-one hits, we're in trouble. Chop them down low, sack him in past the ball, we'll get turnover. Madison, you need to talk to the referee, they're sealing off. Okay, so pick that up with them. All right, they're coming off their feet. 1 change, Valawa, Martin on, Maka into 10. Okay?
Boys, we're having the ball in rugby.
Kick off, okay?
Hey, boys, if you have to tell us to swing it wide one more time, I'm going to smack all of you. Hit the fucking ball.
Colourful language there at the end. Your emotions in the American huddle. We do apologise for that. Something we don't have any control over. But Mike Friday, well, he didn't leave them in any doubt as to what he requires in the second half.
Spoke about the defensive effort, have to chop them down low, don't let them run, make your one-on-one tackles and the second man go over the ball. He feels that the French team are selling off, going off their feet and stopping the contest, and he wants his captain to talk about the referee, talk about that issue. It all comes down to support play. If you're there earlier than the other man, you'll get parity or dominance. Carla Niles, well, they've got to give that guy the ball with space. They've given it to him, but it's all a bit slow through the midfield and it's enabling the French defence to get on him. Where he was effective yesterday, they gave him half a break, and the guy can run it just under 10.6, I think it is flat. Well, give him a little bit of gas, give him a chance.
He's run faster than that, over 100. His personal best in the low 10s. Carlin Isles, and now the kick-off from the US of A, and they get the bounce. So, across it goes to Martin Yosefo, a man that's rated highly by Mike Friday, just needs more experience from the University of Montana, his debut event. Barrett. He's a real toiler, isn't he? Denny Barrett. And that time the pass was not good from the inside, and Alan Isles just couldn't control it.
That's a shame there, Greg, because that was a nice matchup. Vakatawa versus Carlin Isles, the two guys on the wing. One's a more power-based player. The other one, obviously, on screen has gas. Oh, that's mouth-watering if those two guys can get a one-on-one situation.
14-5. It's France
Fine.
in control at the moment. Candelon puts it in. Bura'oa. And so Vakatawa, the man from Naitasira village in Fiji, couldn't link up with his teammate and towed through by Martin Yosefo. But we come back because he was into touch, and it's going to be throw into the line out for the United States.
That's the matchup I was looking for, the one-on-one, and Carlin Niles, well, he wins that battle in that situation. Vakatawa just trying to run over the top of him. And a good ball and all, or down, sorry, not a ball and all, but around the ankles tackle, just to lower the bigger man. That's what Mike Friday asked for.
Okay, let's go wide. Very good. It's a meter in the middle.
Madison Hughes from Dartmouth University. A lot of responsibility, only his 6th tournament, and he is the captain. Ernafei across to Yosefo, and here's Isles, bounced out of one. Yosefo goes into contact. Good work at the breakdown by Candelon for France. It's going to come back for Isles. He offloads. Hughes goes wide. Durutalo, and now Barrett. Barrett, good ball and all tackle by Delinia. Hughes. Well, they're moving the ball, and this man can move as well. Here we go. Carlin Isles over the 22, in and away. Try time, US of A. Carlin Isles.
Well, again, matched up on Vakatawa, and Carlin Niles again gets the points decision. I just like the way he's learnt the game of rugby. It was pretty raw the last couple of seasons, but look at the way he goes on the outside of Vakatawa. Goes on the outside of another French defender. And then from there, look at the power, the determination and the gas. Nothing better than watching an athlete in full flight.
It's about 37 tries in his career. This is only his 17th event. And after that run, he's going to have a breather on the sidelines, and it's going to be Perry Baker to come on. So one speedster for another. Gee, that must be competitive in the training camp back in the United States when these two learning their skills.
Oh man, that's what's good. It creates competition. It just lifts your game to another level. What Carlin Niles has done too is taken Vakatawa out of the game. He's been taken off by France. That's one of their key weapons. Gone.
Good take there from Gobele. So 14 points to 10, and the penalty goes against the USA. Indigo. Bura'oa. Goes to his feet. He was in hell now. He lays it back, and the counter is pretty good from the USA before the knock on from Durutalo. So wide they go, and the captain, Daniel, hands it over now to Sabad, and he is going to hit back for France. Julien Sabad. So a little more breathing space now.
He just takes it out to that 2-score buffer now for the French team. Sabad backing himself on the outside. They worked it well. There's the initial inroads. Nice timing of the pass. He hits it at pace, does Julien Sabad. And just goes Danny Barrett on the outside.
Second try of the tournament for Sabad. This one off the boil a little bit, France, after they're in front 14-5 at half-time. But now, back in the driver's seat well and truly. But there is time for the USA. I think Mike Friday, the USA coach, knows that it's going to be hard for his team that is building to make it into the top 4 and qualify after the World Series for the Rio Olympics. So he's going to have to play in a North American qualifier. There's a kick through. It's there for Candalon. He flicks it up to the support. Linya. So the French can really, they can really shut it down now. Here's Candalon. He pops it over. Good hands on the far side. In a go. And he gets it out to Samoa, and he's got another one over in the far corner. So that's the ball game. 24 points to 10. Kick to come.
He gives it the thumbs up too. Does Sabard. He really likes that left-hand side of the field, doesn't he? Number 7 for France. Looks like a natural finisher. Here it is here. And you got nice timing of the pass. The defence in the form of Andrew Duratolo was caught in two minds. He has to make it up one or the other. Caught him no man's land, and Sabard goes over.
Difficult conversion for Terry Burawa. And he's counting down the seconds. From out wide, not a bad strike, but he can't have the extras, so 24 points to 10. As the siren sounds, but there is time for the kickoff. We're just going back to Mike Friday, knowing that they probably won't finish in the top 4 and automatically qualify for Rio. They have to play countries like Canada, I think, in the regional Olympic qualifying tournament. So he's just giving everyone an opportunity to cement their place in the team. Left a couple of familiar names back home like Nick Edwards. And this could be a good finish by the USA to give them a bit of confidence. It's Maku Unafei, and they won't rein him in. So he goes pretty much coast to coast. It's too late though, but that will impress his coach. So 24 points to 15. So the try after the siren.
A nice powerful effort there, just drops his shoulder into the defence, runs over the top with a pretty tight effort there from the French member. He scored the try to shake it here, he's frustrated. But a good way to finish. You can't underestimate this weekend for them. They've been pretty competitive in all their matches, the United States, Greg.
Full time, France through to the bowl final after a 24 to 15 win over the United States. Coming up next at the Dubai Sevens, the bowl semi-final, Portugal through, and they're playing Samoa. Calling the action, Carl Tavana and also Scott Hastings.
So match 36 here in the Emirates Airlines Dubai Sevens. It's the bowl semi-final. Portugal versus Samoa. Both these teams didn't qualify for the cup competitions, and they dropped down then into the plate. And also good performances by Samoa. A bit mixed, losing out to Scotland and then New Zealand as well. Portugal much improved. Good victory on day one, 26 points to 27 over Canada, which pushed Wales into the quarter-finals. Portugal then beat Brazil by 19 points to 0 this morning. It's the head-to-heads. And our whistler in the middle is Anthony Moyes. He's racking up a fair few matches, 167, so the Australian, one of the well-respected referees here in the Sevens Stadium here in Dubai. Pedro Leal, Portugal's top point scorer, will take the kick-off. Well collected there by Samoa in the shape of Asaf Lal. Selly through the ball there. So quick tap restart. Samoa's first real attack of the game. Eloy was out wide. Lolo Louis. Lolo Louis, the top point scorer of all time on the Sevens World Series. Selly. Ball was ready to be played there. Portugal came up but couldn't quite steal the ball there. Tila Milloy gets the support. Selly offloads on the deck. This is up to the 10-yard line. Asavala on the wide outside. Goes for the corner. First try, beats Adrieto Estevez, one of the standout players for Portugal. But first try for Samoa.
Yeah, Siosi Asafoloi. That's the try score for Samoa. Backs himself against the forward in the sevens game, Estevez, who can move across the ground. You can see there again the head goes back. Thanks. The power comes through. Estevez tries as much as he could. The line just come up too quick.
Well, always a big dive. Great camera work as Estevez comes in too late though. Conversion from wide out is missed. So first blood there for Samoa. So can they build on that disappointing day one performance? Beaten by Scotland 21 points to 14. Got a victory against Japan 38-12. And then beaten by New Zealand, a clean sheet 41 points to 0. And if you recall that Samoa reached the final on the Gold Coast and there was high hopes for them to come into this tournament and perform well. Estevez knocks the ball on, so it was taken from an offside position there by Vasco Mendes, but Samoa are sharp on the ball. Through Solia. Lolo Louis on the outside. It could have been double trouble for Portugal. Oh, we thought the first dive was outrageous, but that was as well. But it was a foot in touch on the far wide outside by Asafoloi.
Yeah, only just. Lolo Louis giving a nice time pass. Asafoloi on the outside, trying to tiptoe down that white chalk. Here it is here. There's Lolo Louis, takes it into contact, draws in the last defender. Well, last two, in fact, of the Portuguese.
Well, we might come back to the dive later on. However, it's inconsequential. Good stepping here on a break from Nuno Gomes. Adrieto Estevez. He looks fit this weekend in Dubai. He's really worked hard on his fitness. Space outside on the channels. João Linho are tackled by Solia. Portugal linking some passes together. Vasco Mendes. But you can see Selly going in there, making an absolute nuisance of himself. Can Samoa turn the ball over in the contact illegally, says referee Anthony Moyes.
High tackle.
Diego Miranda. Good ball to Pedro Leal, the man they call Popcorn. Up through the middle he goes, 10-yard, goes for the chip over Tom Usefo. Bounces awkwardly, but into the favour of Ruapeni Levasa. Samoa. Usefo Lai. Not putting on the afterburners yet. Oh, shows a nice little dummy. Can Estevez track him down on that channel? Oh, lovely little step. What about that for a try, Carlton Anna?
Oh, outstanding on the edge again, Asafoloi. Backing himself. Estevez had the angle on him and just stops on a dime. Does the number 12 for Samoa. Lets Estevez go past.
Well, double trouble for Portugal. Asafoloi steps inside. Super skills from Samoa.
You can see the reaction of Pedro Neto in the background. The Portuguese coach is priceless.
Lolo Louis with the additional 2 points in under the posts for the conversion. It makes it look so easy. The little chip shot there. And that's Samoa out into a 12-0 lead over Portugal. All the fancy dresses. It's not your commentary team, I hasten to add. So Lolo Louis, still 32 years of age. maybe lost a yard or two of pace, but he's still one of the best in terms of his control of the game. Great hanging kickoff, well taken by Portugal. Did well to get that ball. Now what's in their attacking armoury? Leal held the ball up for Estevez. It's the 10-yard line. Selly was in for the tackle. Spin pass on the wide out to João Alinho onto Mendes, and well, the error creeping in there from Portugal. You can see the despair and the frustration from Nuno Guedes. Kyle Murray disappointed.
Yeah, it comes down from the defensive pressure applied by Samoa, just having a little Bo Peep, wasn't he?
There's a mark.
Portuguese attacker looking for the hit, and that's what makes it so hard when you play the Samoans. You know they're going to be physical, so you try and look up early. Look at that ball giving away 5. You can't do that.
Yeah, no continuity within this Portuguese play. And of course, they looked so good in their previous victory over Brazil by 19 points to 0.
Set.
Also beat Canada on day 1 by 26 points to 7. Canada misfiring on that occasion, but you play what's in front of you. And this man plays what's in front of him. Lola Lui skips out the tackle, one-handed pass, intercepted though by Vasco Mendes for Portugal. Loud blast of the whistle, not releasing on the deck. Estevez takes a quick tap and go. Now Portugal are going to have to go the distance. This is Nuno Guedes. Selly knows. Lola Lui came in for the tackle. Portugal, Diogo Miranda. Now he's looking for support. Where's the attack structures? Oh, big thumping tackle comes in. Pedro Leal. Bit misshapen here from Portugal in their attacking alignment. Ball slowed down through the hands of Nuno Guedes. Guedes steps back, held in the tackle by Asafaloy. The double try score for Samoa. Turnover ball. Well, the hooter's gone, so there's an opportunity for Samoa to make it tell. Was that forward? No, just back. Stretching his legs on that wide out channel is Sulia. That's all a little bit scrappy there.
Incorrect entry. Incorrect entry number 3.
Samoa with a real opportunity then. Last play of this first half. 12-0 they lead. They're attacking in the 22. Selly holds the ball up. Could this be a hat-trick for Asafaloy? No, switch played down the blind side. Well, it's a 3 and 2. It's what rugby players practice all the time, but he backs himself, Tila Malloy, and gets over in the corner.
What a time to score, just well after the half-time hooter. In fact, Tila Malloy gets it done for Samoa. Finally, just the weight of numbers, weight of possession. Too much tackles for Portugal. And Mendes again just a step too late.
Let's go.
And it was interesting by Mialoy, just the way he stepped out of that loose hand and grabbing hand from Estevez to reach for the line. And Lola Lui has the simplest of tasks to convert from wide out. So a comprehensive opening 7 minutes here for Samoa. That's them out into the lead by 19 points to 0.
Very controlled effort in the first 7 minutes for the Manu Samoa, getting all of the possession, just controlling the pace of this game. I'd say Tiki Taufua, their coach, would be pretty happy.
Temos que dar ritmo ao jogo. Somos os últimos a chegar à touche, somos os últimos a chegar à melee. Pá, ponham intensidade, nós temos banco para trocar, ponham intensidade, deem ritmo ao jogo e quando tivermos a bola na mão, apoiem-se, convergir ao homem da bola. Estamos a ficar a ver, pá.
Oi, 7 minutos, bora, cara, já fizemos isto, 7 minutos, pá. Acreditar.
Oi,
bora.
Metam tudo. Quem não estiver bem, já se cansou, levanta muito.
Mas o Português, Scotty.
Not as good as yours.
They
just need the ball, don't they? They've had to do a number of tackles.
Não desistam, cara. Estamos a deixar o portador sozinho. Atirem-se para a frente.
Haven't had any continuity, as you said. Scott Hastings, too many balls given away. He just can't get a flow on.
Well, these two teams last met in Glasgow back in May 2014 when Portugal lost by 5 points to 28. They've played 13 times against each other. Portugal have actually only won 2. The last one was in Hong Kong way back in March 2013. They won by 14 points to 10. So the second half of this bowl semi-final between Portugal and Samoa just about to kick off. Wearing that number 7 jersey, Lolo Louis. Good to see him back in the starting lineup. Ball taken by Portugal. Vasco Mendes was the recipient, but holding on to the ball in the contact. Seli, he's quick as a flash, Seli. This big rumbustious forward. And talking about rumbustious, what about Solia? Loose, scrappy play. Turns the ball over to Portugal. Esteves. Well, he's all arms and legs, is Adrieto Esteves. So much of Portugal's attacking play has had to come from deep, and look at the pressure, the press defence coming on from Portugal, now attacking behind the back of their try line. But it was a lovely show and goal, wasn't it, by Diego Miranda? Has he got the support? Carl Murray, I think it is. Carl Murray, one of the most experienced players, bobbing, weaving. Well, Portugal making heavy weather of it, but Nuno Godes scores between the sticks to pull a try back for Portugal.
Oh, well done, Portugal. From behind their own try line, that started. Nuno Guedes did some great support play. Here it is here. He's the one that got it all started. There was a mountain of pressure on him. The decoy, there was players in motion. That's what put the Samoan defensive line in 2 minds. And here, he buys time, draws in the sweeper of Tom Josefo. I thought Carl Murray was in for all money there, but Tom Josefo takes a nice line and then gives a nice pass to Guedes back in the middle.
Well, we've enjoyed some great tries here in Dubai. If you're sitting at home watching and you'd like to vote for that one as your try of the day, why don't you tweet us at World Rugby Sevens? That's 7S, World Rugby Sevens, or hashtag Dubai Sevens. Pedro Leal then with the kick and restart. He puts plenty of height in it. Esteves is up chasing it, knocks it backwards so it falls well.
Advantage over.
Pedro Leal takes that long looping pass from the try scorer. Nuno Guedes is looking for the support. Throws it over the top of Nuno Guedes. Esteves wrapped up in the tackle. Double tackle here. Sauelo and Seli, but he gets to the deck. Esteves, quick tap restart. They're going to have to play down this near channel. They've got an extra man here in Jose Vereta. Not tackled as he stayed in. He has. He's recycled the possession. So Portugal playing some good continuity here. Super flip pass by João Linho and Pedro Leal. Can they stretch wide? Oh, footballing skills from Carl Murray. Oh, picks up. Can he get over the corner? Yes, he can. Can he?
Time out.
Did he get it down? That's the question for mine. He did all the hard work. Carl Murray. Great defence here from Samoa, and just going to be an RVR.
Did you see a grounding? You did not see a grounding. Okay. We're going to have to go RVR, please.
The referee video review. Talk us through this one.
See me pick it up on the fly. The number 10 comes across.
Actually, we've got a high tackle.
Can we see it on that angle? This will be a good one here. It's over the try line. Spins over and
okay, we have
I don't know.
Try,
for me, that's a no.
High tackle.
Well, it's going back for a high tackle anyway.
The try from happening, so it's a penalty try. Okay, high tackle has prevented a try.
The tackle prevented a try, says Anthony Moyes. So penalty try in that case. Well, it's given Portugal the opportunity And Pedro Leal pops over the kick. And Carlton Anna, just talk us through this one, because this try has given Portugal a real chance.
A couple of pieces of skill there. First, just to put that on the toe. Second, to pick it up. And then the third piece to get over. I'm not sold on that being a high tackle. You know, he's trying to take the ball on all. He's on his back. What else is he supposed to grab? That's a tough one.
So Pedro Leal will take out the 56-degree lob wedge. There it goes, up in there. See how much height he gets on the ball. Estevez challenges for it. Samoa looked as though they had secured, but a knock-on in the contact.
Was lost forward.
Samoa just seemed to be cruising that first half. Had all the possession. Just shows you once you got the ball, that's 9/10 of the law in the game of sevens. Anything can happen. Well, the Portuguese just showing what they can do. Passes completed, 29 in fact. What a comeback.
Time off. He's being subbed.
Jaulinho just getting some action there from the Cirio Lisboa club. The 24-year-old plays lock forward for his club.
Time on.
He's having to come off.
Yes, Mark's out on you.
So he's been replaced. And Pedro Leal there wearing that number 4 jersey.
Crouch.
He's been capped at 15s level, but it's 7s where he excels.
Set.
Standing behind the scrum, receiving the pass is Jose Vareta. Vareta flat pass to Carl Murray. Carl Murray tries to go on the wide outside channel. Ball spills back. Recycled though. Leal. Look how much Portugal are having to concede now. They put the kick in, but they've given up possession, so that falls in Samoa's favour. 2 minutes left on that clock.
On the ground, playing the ball.
Well, Leal gets away with it.
Can't take it in front of the mark.
When you need a try to even up this game, you don't want to be kicking away possession. They've been so good in that department, keeping it. So you've got to challenge, you've got to set it up here. Estevez on his near side of the field. He's the one that can make some inroads. He's a winger in the 15er side. Can they manipulate the defence and get him the ball in space?
Jose Vareta, the wraparound movement to Leal. Diego Matheus to Nuno Guedes, scored that brilliant try. Jose Vareta backs himself, now can he get the support? Vareta up to the 22. Lola Louis went in with a tackle. Illegally, says referee Anthony Moyes, so is that going to be a yellow card? Lola Louis.
It's a deliberate infringement, you can't dive.
Yellow card.
Oh yes indeed, and now Samoa
Wait, please.
really are going to find it tough to keep the Portuguese out. He's going to be off for the remainder of this game. Can they do it, Portugal?
Well, remember, in the 13 occasions, Portugal have only won twice. Can they make it a hat-trick? Switch play then for Portugal. Going for the try line is Bernardo Cardoso. Desperation here. Well, Estevez on his fingertips, on his fingernails. Acrobatic by Estevez. Exciting stuff.
Oh, if he had scored that, well, that would have been one of the most best individual tries ever. There's no right to catch that ball. He was holding off 2 defenders. He was trying to release the pass some way, somehow. This would be a nice shot over here. The touchline is right there, using all his strength. The second defender comes in, he gets pushed over, just loses it. If he holds that, he was over the try line.
Yeah, it was Selly who came in with the tackle. But the injured player is Tom Youssefo. So Tom Youssefo, former Auckland Sevens flyer.
We're good.
He's been
Come across.
he's had his fair share of injuries. Now, folks, there's only 30 seconds on this clock. Time is on. Samoa have got the put on. They're down to 6 players. Portugal on 7. Can the Portuguese squeeze Samoa one more time?
Set.
What a cracking bowl semi-final this is. Samoa break from deep. Lovely running there. As Tila Mialoi kicks the ball downfield. Well, was that the right option with 3 seconds on the clock? Because Portugal will still be allowed to put the put in. So all down to Portugal. They have to secure the possession and score from here if they're going to hit this bowl final and beat Samoa.
He actually thought he had an angle to the try line. The Samoan attacker there. They've given Portugal an opportunity. Can they execute?
Ball out then. Jose Vareta, the playmaker, Nuno Guedes. Wrap-around move, but it was well read. Jose Vareta goes to the deck. Samoa flood the contact.
Holding on.
And it was holding on. So with the final play of the game, Samoa will boot this ball out of touch. They'll be into the bowl final. And Tila Mialoi, who scored one try, wraps up proceedings for Samoa. They will progress into the bowl final. It's Portugal. We say farewell to them.
Obviously you were here last time as an All Black 6 years ago. How much has it changed?
Yeah, it's changed a lot. The atmosphere is real good here, and I guess the game's changed a lot as well. It's a lot more quicker boys, a lot more fitter, and a lot physical as well. So yeah, a lot has changed, and it's good to be back.
How are you finding the experience of obviously going from Super Rugby back into Sevens?
No, I like it, eh? You know, it's a bit open space and stuff, and you know, I've got to work on a lot of fitness as well while the boys are back at home doing pre-season. You know, I'm here doing my pre-season as well, so yeah, it's good.
Samoa didn't get off to the greatest start last night, but good results today. What changed over the last 24 hours?
We just want to put some pride back into our jersey. Yesterday we didn't do that, and you know, we fell off a lot of one-on-one tackles, and individual skills let us down last night. And yeah, the boys are showing it today that you know, we've got a bit of game in ourselves, and put a bit of pride into our jersey, and we'll be fine.
Great to see you here in Dubai. Thanks so much.
Yeah, cheers, Willie.
Well, afternoon here in Dubai. We've got some magic games coming up. The plate semi-finals. It is a home unions affair between Wales and Scotland. Argentina will take on England in the cup semis. It's Fiji versus Australia, the defending champions Fiji. South Africa versus New Zealand. A repeat of the Commonwealth